Welcome in, belly up, grab a seat, have a drink, drink your sorrows away as we talk some wingman fantasy football. Welcome into another edition of Wingman Fantasy Football, the League Podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Michael Furley. And as always, I'd like to thank all of you, or any of you, who may be watching or listening to today's show. This is episode 82, week 16. Week 16 rewind. Before we get any further along, let's just make sure that everyone's here. Come on, let's do it.
Wingmen assemble!
As you can tell, this one's going to have a little bit of a different tone this time around. But in this episode, we will go over the game rewinds, take a gander at our Gooso-meter, check in on the trade watch. It's probably going to be a Mike rant. But before doing that, let's just check on the theme for this past week. This was the semifinals, a winner-go-home situation, and the playoffs hurt, man. QB turnovers, Christmas Day blues for some, and for some, Christmas Day. I guess with that being said, guys, let's get right into the game rewind.
Let's go back! Week 16? Who cares?
All right, guys, we're going to start in our little boy bracket. This is the consolation bracket here. We've got Reggie's Lionized up against Ken's Tampa Brady, who's given up. It's just easier that way, isn't it? Well, Lionized defeated Tampa Brady 83.08 to 60.1. Lionized played his dream team of 7 Lions. He didn't quite go all the way to get the 8th Lions, the kicker, but his 7 Lions totaled 81.08 points. Solid. Okay. Let's see how he got to his win. He had some top performers this week as Jahmyr Gibbs had 24 points even.
He's on fire!
Amon-Ra St. Brown is returning to form, getting 22.6 points.
He's heating up!
He did have some duds. Of course, they were Lions, as his whole team was Lions. Sam Laporta had 3.3 points, and Josh Reynolds had 2.1 points. As for some strong players left on Lionized bench, Matthew Stafford had 21.12 points, and Brandon Ayuk got 14.3 points.
Hadouken!
With this win, the Lionized heads to the 7th place game. Now let's check in on Tampa Brady's scores. He has finished off the season with a 5-game losing streak.
You're as cold as ice!
And with this loss, he's going to head to the 9th place game. All right, top performers for Ken's Tampa Brady. Chris Olave had 18.8 points. Najee Harris had 13.8 points. And Gus Edwards had 13.5 points.
He's heating up!
He did have some duds as he had 3 players in his active lineup who were not even playing. So he had 3 zeros, but I'm not counting him towards the Gooses because he literally just stopped playing. As for some players left on the bench for Ken's Tampa Brady, who had a decent game, Chuba Hubbard had 11.6 points.
He's heating up!
I don't know why I'm talking with a Chicago accent. Maybe because I've been watching Home Alone. Anyway, on to our next game. We've got Bernie's Team B.
I'm Cuban B. Yes, Cuban B.
Up against Nick Swaddle away. And Bernie's Team B was able to defeat Nick Swaddle away 94.82 to 47.32. This is Team B's longest winning streak of the season of 2 games in a row. And with this win, Team B will head to the 7th place game to face Lionized. Let's see what players helped Team B get his 2nd straight win, as he had his kicker, Jason Sanders, scored 22 points.
He's heating up!
he had Baker Mayfield get 19.82 points.
He's on fire.
And Ezekiel Elliott had 16.5 points. As for Team B's duds, he had Kenneth Walker, Texas Ranger, have 6.1 points. And Jalen Waddle had only 5.7 points. As for strong players left on his bench, he had Calvin Ridley have 24 points. Jake Browning had 19.4 points, and surprisingly enough, he has been chugging along since taking over the starting job from injured Joe Burrow. Also, he had Young Shui Koo get 19 points. As for injuries for Team B, he had Jalen Waddle sustain a high ankle sprain, and he is going to be questionable for the Week 17 matchup against the Ravens. As for Waddle Away's team, he now with his loss heads to the 9th place game up against Ken's Tampa Brady, who's all but given up. And let's see, and he was the lowest score this week at 47.32 points. He only had one player to make the top performer list for Waddle Away. That was Devontae Smith at 15.9 points. And his term of duds, his entire team were duds, including Cortland Nothing, who got 0.0 points to earn a goose. He had some strong players left on his bench. It wouldn't have been enough. Dak Prescott had 20.62 points on the bench, and Khalil Herbert came out of nowhere to get 18.6 points. On to our next game. This was our 6th place game, where the winner of this 5th place game, where the winner of this game would earn 5th place for the final season standings, and the loser would take home 6th. And in this game, we had two high scores. As Alex's Day Took Our Jobs took on Katie's King George, and Alex's Day Took Our Jobs was able to win 128.44 to 117.08. For Alex's Day Took Our Jobs, he had top performers of Amari Cooper had 46 points. 46 points!
He's heating up.
He also had Jalen Hulu Has Live Sports return to action to a strong performance with 25.44 points.
He's heating up.
And kicker Jake Elliott had 17 points. He did have a dud of Alvin Kamara getting only 6 points. And he did have some players with high scores on his bench, as well as Russell Wilson had 23.52 points.
He's heating up.
The Las Vegas defense had 18 points.
He's heating up.
Romeo Dubs had 15.9 points. And pardon me, Giovanni Great Bijan had 15.7 points.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon?
Now, with that win, that ends the season standings for Alex as they took our jobs, as he will finish in 5th place, and Katie's King George finishes in 6th place. These two teams have no more games left in their season, so their 2023 Wingman Fantasy Football 2023 season is officially over. Thank you all for participating. All right. Let's check on some strong play. Oh, Katie's King George was the highest scoring loser of the week.
You lose.
Let's see what player she had that gave her this high score, even though it was a loss. Lamar Jackson had 22.58 points.
He's on fire.
Justin Jefferson finally had a nice game in his return at 23.1 points. James Conner had 19.7 points.
He's on fire.
And Justin Tucker keeps chugging along, having another strong game at 16 points. And Aaron Jones had 14 points. As for her dud, she had Travis Etienne. No muy bien had 4.6 points. And there was no one on the bench that could have helped her in this high-scoring affair. And she made it through the week without any major injuries. All right, now it is time to check in on the Big Boy Bracket.
Wingman Fantasy Football Big Boy Bracket. Who's a big boy?
All right, in the first battle in our semifinals of the Big Boy Bracket, we have Jimerson's Red Sox Nation up against Paul's Cuba Rage. And in this game, we had Red Sox Nation defeat Paul's Cuba Rage 132.36 to 101.68. Paul had a fine game, but not good enough as he faced the team with the highest score this week. This is now the 5th win in a row for Red Sox Nation. And with this win, he moves into the championship round in his quest for his 3rd straight championship. Let's see what players helped propel Red Sox Nation to the finals. His top scorers this week was Breece Lightning. Breece Hall had 37.1 points. Also, he had All You Need Is Jordan Love. Get 23.96 points.
He's heating up.
And T. Higgins at 22.5 points.
He's heating up.
He also had, let's see, who else? He had Release the Kyron.
Release the Kraken.
Had 16.4 points, and he is chugging along. Also, he had Tyreek Hill rebound from his ankle sprain to have a fine game of 14.4 points.
He's heating up.
As for Red Sox Nation had no duds this week. He did have a couple players on his bench who also had strong performances, as George Pickens had 33.5 points on the bench, and Zay Flowers had 17.7 points on the bench. On to Cubert's rage. With this loss, he is headed to the third place game and he has now lost 3 games in a row to keep his slide moving, and now he is as cold as ice.
You're as cold as ice.
He did have some players who did play well, though, to get him that 101-plus point outing. Let's see what players made his top performers list. Josh Allen had 26.98 points. Mike Evans had 24.1 points.
He's heating up.
And the engineer, Rashad White, just keeps chugging along as he is still riding on those rails, getting 16.7 points. And DK Metcalf contributed with 13.6 points. As for his duds, he needed a miracle on Christmas, and he needed Travis Kelce to get 35-plus points for a miraculous comeback, but he fell well short, getting only 6.9 points. Stephon Diggs only had 5.4 points on, I think it was Saturday night, and that is his 3rd straight game in the dud category and 5 out of 6 games for Stephon Diggs to be in the dud list. As for some players that were on the bench that did well but weren't going to be good enough to make a difference in this game, he had David Montgomery get 13.9 points, and David Njoku, had 13.4 points.
He's on fire.
On to our next game and final game of the big boy bracket. We have Corey's Mac Daddy 2s up against Michael's Amazing Spidey, and in a huge upset.
Average Joe's wins in a shocking upset.
Corey's Mac Daddy 2s was able to take down the number 1 seed, Michael's Amazing Spidey, 102.9 to 100.08. This is now the 4th win in a row for Corey's Mac Daddy 2. All right, let's see what strong players helped propel Mac Daddy 2s to his very first championship bout in his Wingman Fantasy Football League history, starting off with Justin Fields.
Fields forever.
Scored 26.5 points. CeeDee Lamb, as always, keeps chugging along, getting 22.2 points. Saquon Barkley had 17.9 points, and DeAndre Swift had 15.2 points. He wasn't without a dud, however, as his kicker, Brandon McManus, had 0 points for the Goose. He did have one player on his bench who had a nice day, as Tyler Lockett had 12.1 points, and he made it through the week without any major injuries. As for Amazing Spidey, this was the closest game of the week at just under 3-point differential, but despite being that close, he is now out of the running for a championship.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, let's see what players, and with this loss, he is going to go to the 3rd place game and face Paul. Let's see what players got him to that over 100-point score, starting with a great start on Thursday night as Puka Nacua had 28.5 points.
Hakuna Matata.
Christian McCaffrey did all he could in a dumpster fire of a game for the Niners as he got 22.1 points to keep himself chugging along. And Derrick Henry rebounded from last week's game, getting 20.88 points, where he rushed in a touchdown and threw a touchdown pass all at the same time. Not the same time, in the same game. As for the duds, there were so many lineup mistakes that Amazing Spidey made this week. So many lineup mistakes. But let's see what duds he had, as Brock Purdy had 10.4 points, and Devontae Adams could only get 9 points for the virtual Goose. As for players that was left on the bench that would have helped Amazing Spidey get the win, but he decided not to play any of these players, Kyler Murray had 20.4 points on the bench. George Kittle had 16.1 points on the bench. And near relevant Nico Collins had 11.8 points on the bench. As for injuries, Amazing Spidey it wasn't a major injury, it was just a ill-timed one as Brock Purdy suffered a stinger late in the fourth quarter, taking him out of the last 3 drives of garbage time in an effort to maybe come back for Amazing Spidey.
Oh, no!
All right, guys, with all the lineup errors, wait, hold on. I've just been told that we have some lost footage of Amazing Spidey watching that Monday night game. Let's check in on what we got.
I want to apologize to my mom, to all the fans of Amazing Spidey. I'm so sorry. I was so scared of Deebo Samuel. I was so scared of who? Deebo. No matter what Mike says, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault we're here now. I'm the one who sat Patrick Mahomes and put in Brock Purdy. It's my fault. Brock Purdy was the highest rated quarterback in the league. I'm so scared to close my eyes and watch the 49ers-Ravens game on Monday night. I'm so scared to open my eyes to watch the Ravens game and 49ers game on Monday night. What's that? What's that? Oh, Brock Purdy's going to the medical tent. He's in the blue tent. He's not returning. They put in Sam Darnold. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrified. It's over. It's over. Wait! Christian McCaffrey's down to the 2-yard line. Are they going to hand it off? They hand it off to Christian McCaffrey. He scores. I win. Oh, he's tackled at the 1. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. It's not over. It's not over. Sam Darnold drops back. He gets sacked. He gets sacked. It's not over. It's 4th down. There's still one more chance. He drops back. Come on, just throw it to McCaffrey. Oh, it's intercepted. Oh, the game's over. Oh, my gosh, Sam Darnold, you suck. Oh, it's my fault. I lost. I lost. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, that was hard. That was hard to watch, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, well, since the rewind's over, let's check in on our Goose-o-meter.
I'm just goosing along.
All right, guys. So once again, you guys have broken the Goose-o-meter. We are now up to 13 gooses as we added 2 gooses this week as Cortland nothing, got nothing for Nick's Waddle away, and Corey's Mac Daddy Chews was able to overcome the goose from Brandon McManus to move on to the championship round. Congratulations, Corey. Way to go. All right, guys. With that, let's check in on our trade watch. Buy. Sell.
Hold! Wingman Fantasy Football. Trade Watch.
All right. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, I know I did, with the Davante Adams debacle getting less than a point, did the trade keep Amazing Spidey from advancing? Well, depends how you look at it. But if you take the players that are actually traded and who was most likely to be in the lineup, let's put it this way. Davante Adams and Derrick Henry Amazing Spidey's new players equaled 21.78 points. Thank you, Derrick Henry. If he did not make the trade at all, he would have had Raheem Mostert and most likely Nico Collins. Those guys would have scored 22.3 points, which would have been half a point higher. It would have made it closer, but it would not have been enough that way either. Although, if I did not have Devontae Adams and had Nico Collins coming off an injury, I would have been maybe more likely, although it's hard to say for sure, more likely to play George Kittle. But Nico Collins was a higher rated player, so it's hard to say for sure. But the players, the replacement players equaled exactly what the new players got, just in a much different way about it. So there wouldn't have been enough either way. If that makes someone who lost this game feel any better, it doesn't. All right, guys, now it's time to get into another rendition of a mic rant.
Baby rant. Karen rant.
I don't care whose fault it is. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think.
Mike rant.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think that I'm going to do. Man. I just want to know one thing. Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me, man? Paul. Paul. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. Paul's coming with me to the third place game. Thank you, Paul. Fully, man. All right. Oh. Oh. Now it's time for the real rant. I've already teased it in last week's rant. Christmas Day games. It's supposed to be a time of year for joy and celebration, not for crushing defeats. Patrick Mahomes. Devontae Adams. I'm not going to lie, guys. Putting the show together today has been very helpful. But now bringing back these emotions back up to the surface is making it very hard on me. I'm having a hard time. Starting to freak out. Okay, to help me calm down, I put together a little post-mortem for all the teams that have been eliminated. I suggest you watch it in full. It always calms me down. It makes me laugh. So enjoy our post-mortem.
Wingman Fantasy Football. Sad, sad puppies.
Tout autour de moi, des visages connus, des endroits usés, visages épuisés, se levant de bonheur pour un travail qui ne mène à rien, qui ne mène à rien. Leurs larmes se cachent derrière des lunettes, sans expression, sans expression. Je cache mon visage pour un chagrin, sans lendemain, sans lendemain. Et je trouve cela un peu étrange, je trouve cela un peu triste. Les rêves dans lesquels je meurs sont de loin les meilleurs. Et j'ai du mal à te dire, du mal à supporter. Quand les gens tournent en rond, c'est vraiment, vraiment un monde fou.
Wingman Fantasy Football. Sad, sad puppies.
Les enfants attendent.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that post-mortem. It's sad to see everyone's lifespan these last 3 months. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so very much for this therapy session with me. Thank you for watching and or listening. I want to let you guys know on a more serious note that we are going to have some big news being announced in the next episode or two. I'm going to tease that out. Also, if you want to, we're going to have some voting on some polls here. I'm going to start with this episode here in the YouTube comment sections. I'm going to put a list of a poll that I want you guys to address. So let me just say this first. You can find our audio feeds on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and YouTube Music. Just search Wingman the League to find our content on those platforms. If you want to check out our video feeds, go ahead and check out wingmanentertainment.net/podcasts. Also, our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@wingmanfantasyfootball. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and click on the notifications. Leave a comment to get into our next mailbag section. Also, like I said, I'm gonna put out a poll there. I want you to rank your top 3 of the list of the different things we're gonna in different categories. I'm gonna put a list of all of our intro graphics. I want you to rank them your top 3. Also, our sound drops and maybe some player nicknames. Not sure if I'm gonna add that one. So if you guys can vote on that within the next week, because I'm hoping to have an award show next week after the season is over. So please do that. So that if you don't usually go to the YouTube channel, go ahead and do that and just put in your top 3 out of each category in the comment section there. That'd be much appreciated. All right, guys. With that being said, good luck to the guys who are still going for their championship. I don't know who to root for. Root for the guy who's going to win his 3rd in a row, or root for the guy who knocked me out. Sounds like a no-win situation for me. But anyway, good luck to you guys who are still in it. Paul, I'll see you in the 3rd place game. With that being said, may your glasses be full, your mugs stay frosty, and maybe we'll see you next time.